Hey there, welcome back to True North Reviews. My name is Ryan, and today we're reviewing the new album from Banks. This one is entitled 3. You know, she might not be as big as Cher, Madonna, or Beyonce, and it seems like mononymous names are becoming harder and harder to hype at the tail end of the 2010s, but I can't blame her for trying. With that being said, stripping back the allure and illusion, Banks, also known as Jillian Rose Banks, is an American singer-songwriter of the alternative rock scene. She dives into trip-hop, alternative pop, a little bit of R&B too. Her 2016 record, The Altar, I never really gave it a fair chance. I know there was a lot of good things being said about it. I just know that when it comes to me and listening to trip-hop, we butt heads sometimes. It's never really been a genre I've gone to for pure enjoyment. It's been something that I've always criticized for its down-tempo and usually depressing kind of sound. That's at least how I would describe it. And I know funk can inject some much-needed life and energy into it sometimes. For sure, trip-hop can be extremely experimental since we're fusing two unlikely genres of hip-hop and electronica. Some of their conventions end up being on the opposite ends of the spectrum, while sometimes lines are blurred together. I think it's typically hit or miss. It took me a while to get used to the sad brand of trip-hop with an artist like Lana Del Rey over the past couple years. But hey, I've gotten used to this sadness because at the end of the day, you just have to realize that sadness is an important topic in certain bands' discographies, and it is an easy emotion to empathize with if it's done in the proper setting. For Banks though, this album, is it reinventing the wheel? Is it muddying the waters? It might be muddying the production, but a lot of what's on this project isn't doing something new from a creative standpoint. In other words, she isn't revolutionizing trip-hop, but an important note should be made here that the genre's foundation has previously been laid down by artists like Portishead and Massive Attack. Still, whatever expectations I can salvage before listening to this trip-hop album in 2019 would be something along the lines of having engaging lyrics, a modernization of production techniques. And I don't know, maybe I'm just overthinking what my expectations are. They might come off pretentious. Because really, after all of what I've said in this review up until this point kind of gets thrown out the window immediately after listening to this record. There are bigger issues at hand than a genre, its innovation and progression to something new. Instead, I feel like this new Banks album is frustrating me for a much simpler reason, something that a casual music fan can comprehend. It's the vocal performances. For a good portion of Banks' 3, there are many songs that make use of pitch-shifted vocals, both up and down, and mixing that with lyrical themes of loss and heartbreak, it's just a train wreck waiting to happen. Songs like The Fall, What About Love, and Sawzall, these either have shaky vocals or unnecessary vocal effects. Either way, I can't help to think of nails on the chalkboard when I listen to them. And even when Banks attempts to redirect focus on the electronic production with synthesizers, samplers, drum machines, I get this weird sense like she's trying to cover up her vocal melodies because she isn't confident in exactly what they are. The track Stroke is a perfect example of this with its purposely overblown audio. It really does drown out the vocals in the mix, at least to my ears. And when a song isn't necessarily trying to be oversaturated with its audio, it still ends up being melodramatic in a dark, edgy style, either sensually or in a petty, attention-seeking way. Godless is a cut I think of with its brooding instrumental and unnecessary vocal effects. Sure, they're matched closer together with this sense of equal volume, but it still doesn't make the track appealing to me when it is so emotionally over the top. Now, despite the vast majority of this album being hard to listen to for its vocals, it's something I don't want to completely write off as utter trash. One of the singles, Look What You're Doing to Me, has an anthemic chorus, one of the better songs on the project, relatively speaking. It ended up being a decent choice for a single. It's pretty accessible and hard to deny for its few admirable qualities, including its charm and charisma. Hawaiian Mazes is another song I want to highlight for its soft ballad composition. We have some subtle trap instrumentation as well, and some engaging lyrics about a breakup. This song in particular really shows the promise of Banks being in this lane of alternative alternative rock, crossing over to the trap side of beats while still offering the weird and trippy sounds along with the usual dose of piano and string textures. The album, in my opinion, also starts off with its two best tracks with Till Now and Gimme. Till Now is a vocally led cut that again has overblown percussion by the end of its runtime, but the tune is a lot stronger here. And Gimme also has the most melodically catchy beat on this project. Overall, I think this album fares much better when it focuses on the melodic beats and less on the vocals. Still, there is a large number of songs I dislike on this project. I can't really ignore those, but there are a few I can cherry pick, and then some that are just bland and by the numbers when it comes to the genre of alternative rock. So I'm gonna lean towards a slightly negative review as a whole. I'm feeling a 4 out of 10 on Banks's 3. Sound off down below in the comments, let me know what you think of this new album. Leave a like, subscribe if you're new in town. Thanks for watching, and as always, have a rockin' day.